From the OU TV Broadcast Center in Los Angeles, California, this is Brief News Brief, a brief look at today's trending news topics. Proudly combating the thought police since 2016, here's your host, James Heaney.
I'm James Heaney, and this is your Brief News Briefing. Today, women in Saudi Arabia will finally be allowed to apply for a passport and travel freely without having to secure permission from a male relative. Oh boy. Exciting times, right? I'm really excited. This is ending a long-standing guardianship policy that gave men control over women. Welcome to the new millennium, Saudi Arabia. The regulation was issued on Wednesday and then approved on Thursday. Women over the age of 21 will be allowed to travel alone. A woman alone on a plane? Imagine that. What would Mike Pence do if she had to sit next to him? I don't know. It's all finally happening. There are other progressive changes in the law, like it stipulates that a father or a mother can be legal guardians of children. It will also allow women to register a marriage, register a divorce, or register a child's birth for that matter, and to be issued official family documents. Welcome to full personhood, women of Saudi Arabia. These changes are important to Saudi women's rights in the kingdom. The legal system has long required women to have a male guardian to do simple tasks in everyday life. Often a woman's male guardian is her husband or father, but in some cases it was a woman's son that was her guardian. At the same time that these freedoms are coming, the leader of Saudi Arabia, MBS, has sharply narrowed the space for public dissent in the kingdom. He's arrested prominent clerics and women's rights advocates. Some of those advocates were the very same women who pushed for the removal of the ban on women driving for decades, as well as the repeal of the guardianship system that we're seeing now. As the new regulations were announced Friday, several of the women's rights advocates remained imprisoned or temporarily released as they faced trial on charges almost solely related to their activism. The new travel regulations, which were approved by King Salman this week, will take effect at the end of August. Have we reached critical mass, or is it all just completely meaningless? Have we reached a point of justice fatigue? The movement to oust President Trump from office crossed a new threshold on Friday when a majority of House Democrats endorse an impeachment inquiry. So what's your move, Nancy Pelosi? The push in the House to remove Trump has been accelerated by testimony from former special counsel Robert Mueller, which is kind of strange, or surprising at the very least, because it seemed like most people walked away from that made-for-TV event feeling like, Mueller was a walking zombie shell of his former self, completely defeated by the toxic politics that were all weighing down on his shoulders for the past couple of years. Yet, members of the House of Representatives feel that Mueller confirmed that the president could be charged with obstruction of justice after he leaves office. So that was the big movement. That was the big moment of movement, right? We have a president that might go right from being in the Oval Office to a tiny square prison cell. But you can't just arrest a president. It would, look kind of like a coup or something. So as of today, 118 out of 235 House Democrats said that they support at least opening an impeachment inquiry. Many Democrats say that the Mueller testimony reaffirmed some of the more damaging revelations about Trump in the Mueller 448-page report on the Russian election interference and a possible obstruction of his probe by President Trump. The slow burn of the fallout after Mueller's testimony is simmering away. Will it lead anywhere? Who knows? The Congress is on vacation. They are splashing in a pool and they're putting suntan lotion on, so we'll have to wait till summer vacay's over. The Trump administration is preparing to withdraw thousands of troops from Afghanistan in exchange for concessions from the Taliban. The concessions include rebuking al-Qaeda as well as agreeing to a ceasefire. This is the deal to end the nearly 18-year-old war. Think about it. This war is almost old enough to fight in a war. I gotta say, if Trump ends the Afghanistan war and he does it well, it could really be like one of the really great things that he does as president. Like, is he the deal maker that everyone thought he would be on this one issue? The agreement would require the Taliban to begin negotiating a larger peace deal directly with the Afghan government. The number of American troops in the country would fall from roughly 14,000 to between 8,000 and 9,000. which would be the number of troops that were there when President Trump took office. Wait, what? Yeah, that's the numbers that were there originally before he beefed it up. Back in August of 2017, Trump laid out a new militarized policy for the Afghanistan war, and within days, U.S. reinforcements started arriving in Afghanistan, doubling the deployment numbers. When Obama left office, troop levels were between 8,000 and 9,000, and Trump beefed it up. He gave a speech back in 2017 that the new strategy would focus more on counterterrorism and increase pressure on Pakistan to deny safe haven to terrorists and militant groups. In 2017, Trump made a virtue of avoiding details, saying he wouldn't repeat what he had presented as Obama's big mistake as an administration of signaling plans to the U.S. enemies. Yet here we are, signaling that the war in Afghanistan will be over by the 2020 election. That's weird how it times up with the election. It seems hypocritical. Last year was the deadliest year for civilians during the entirety of the Afghan conflict, with more than 3,800 civilian deaths and over 7,000 wounded. Now that's according to the United Nations. Will the war end? Did the war end and then start again? What is going on in Afghanistan? Just end the damn war!